2, 1. We are live. What is up, everybody? How is it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance coming at you live. Today, I am joined by my amazing client, Kira. Kira, hello, say hi. And if you guys are watching right now, feel free to drop a comment and say hi. If you're watching this at a later time, feel free to say hashtag replay so that way we know that you saw this. But while everybody's kind of tuning in, this is my client, Kira. We've been working together. How long have we been working together now? Like officially?
I think since near the end of April.
Yeah, I think so.
Mid to late April.
I think that's pretty spot on. I think that's right. And so, so we've been working together since April, and it's been a pretty awesome, like hell of a ride in terms of just like seeing your progress, your growth, your just like I don't know, tenacity in a lot of ways. And so we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about that a little bit, going forward. But before we do that, I want to give you the opportunity to kind of introduce yourself to those that are watching right now and to at a later time, kind of a bit of a backstory on you. Who are you? How old are you? Like, where are you from? All that good stuff.
So I grew up in Western Washington. And I currently live outside of Puyallup, and I'm 36. I'm a mom of 3. My kids are ages 8, 5, and a little over 1.
Hell yeah.
My husband's an iron worker, so he works like crazy long hours sometimes. So I have a background in before kids. I used to work as a vet tech.
Yeah.
So I have some background in veterinary medicine.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And now so now right now you're like stay-at-home mom in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part, because you just had so you said you have a 1-year-old, yeah. And so like
Genevieve, her birthday is May 1st.
I love that name. You've got like really cool like unique names. They're cool and unique, but they're not like excessively out there. Not anybody can name their kid whatever they want. I have no problem with that. But they're classy, unique. They're cool. Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, Anastasia, Aiden, and Genevieve, and yeah, I wanted names that because my name's short, and I could never have a nickname growing up. Like you can't shorten Kira,
yeah,
like when you
fair.
call me like T.
Yeah.
And so I wanted names that were a little longer. That if they wanted nicknames, they could have them, but they didn't have to have them if they didn't want them.
That was kind of, it's funny that you said that because that was kind of our line of thought. Like, that was like a side thought, I guess, for whenever we were naming Finn. Finn again, because that's his full name, and so we call him Finn, or I can call him Finny, or I can call him, whatever random like that, like associated with that. It's like it's great. I love it. I love being able to like give him like a little bit of a kind of a nickname. So that's awesome. And so yeah. So before like you and I ended up like working together, like let's tell people kind of that are tuning in right now, like, what was your like struggle before coming into the program, or what was your like, your main goal that you were wanting to like strive towards?
Sure. I mean, so I've struggled with weight really my whole life.
Yeah.
And I've tried Weight Watchers. I've tried so many fad diets. I started to get healthy in college. Like about midway through college, we did some of like the CrossFit and paleo stuff, but it's really intense. It wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
And then we were living in Colorado at the time. We moved back out here, started our family, and with each pregnancy, I gained weight, and I really couldn't get it back down. And so then I went in for my annual physical in March, and they did just routine blood work. She was like, "Oh, you're 36 now. I do a little bit more blood work." Okay. And through that and some subsequent testing, they diagnosed fatty liver disease, which was, I don't drink excessively, so it was about my weight.
Yeah.
And the fatty liver was actually causing pressure onto other organs that was then causing other issues. And so it was like, I really have to get this under control.
Yeah.
Kids are incredibly active. Anastasia's in ballet. Aiden is just like this whirling dervish. Eve is, like a toddler, and it's like I've got to keep up with them.
Yeah.
And so I just told my husband Scott, I said, I stuff has to change, and I tried so many times to do this by myself. I cannot do it by myself. I
Yeah.
need help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you did. Like, I mean, and it's one of those things. It's like it's it's crazy because there's a lot of times things like a health scare or like a why of like wanting to be here for a long time and a good time and wanting to be there for your kids and be there like energy wise and be able to like play with them and things like that. That's as parents, I feel like that's a lot of times like a very like driving why for us to like get to a healthier place in our life. And I think that that's really cool that you were like, something needs to change. Like you're like, I'm doing this thing. And like, and not only for them, but also for yourself. Right. Like there's definitely that, like, like we want to do these things for our kids and that's a great why, but like, we also got to want to do it for ourselves too. And I think that like, you've definitely like, embodied that and made it like, you've been kicking ass, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in a little bit. But you've been kicking some serious ass and taking this like really seriously. And I think for a lot of people, a health scare sometimes is one of those things that like getting diagnosed with like fatty liver disease, or like maybe somebody has a heart attack or something like that, and they're like, or maybe a parent or a family member has a heart attack or something like that, and they're like, oh shit, like I need to get this like kind of like this just became real kind of thing. And so for you, like, were some of those like kind of thoughts going through your head, or like, whenever
there's definitely all of that. And my dad has struggled with weight. And like he needs double knee surgery or double knee replacement surgery and a host of other things. He loves his grandkids, but it's a real struggle for him to keep up with them. And it's one of those, I've seen for a while, like where the path is heading if I couldn't change what I was doing. And so it was kind of like this compounding with the health scare. And like, I was like, I need a different path.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's something too, that's like super common. I've not super common, but it's something that I've noticed enough when I'm talking to people on the phone, or I'm talking with you guys a lot of times before you guys start working with me. Like a lot of times, like there are like people that have like family members that they it's almost like seeing into the future a little bit, like with our parents. It's like if we don't do the right things that we know we need to be doing for our health and our fitness, and like it's like we can see it's like looking into the future, and it's like and sometimes it's not a great like future. It can be kind of like a scary future to like, it's like I don't want that for myself. It's like I want to I want to be healthier than that in a lot of ways. And yeah, so so whenever when it came to your like having to try to keep up with your kids and the fatty liver and things like that, and also just like in general with what you were kind of dealing with before we worked together, what were like some of the things that you noticed that were kind of like negatively impacting you?
I mean, one of the big things is the struggle to find clothes.
Yeah.
When you're plus sized, your choices are super limited. It's really hard to find something that's cute. They're really expensive.
Yeah.
And I I really like dressing in a way that I feel like expresses who I am, as opposed to feeling like, well, this is all that fits.
Yeah.
And I didn't like watching, like my kids be like, Mom, play with me. And I'm like, I'm too tired. I'm going to sit here.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a bummer. Like, I don't want those to be the memories my kids have of growing up with me. And, and just having, the getting winded really easily and not having energy. Like, oh man, it really sucked, and feeling tired all the time.
Yeah. For sure. No, and I think that that's like, but it's one of those things. It's like looking back on it now, it's like I feel like man, you've done like a complete 180 from since we started working together. Like it's just like you're on like a completely different path now, like in terms of like, you know, the progress that you've made, like, you know, and like every day is like, you know, it's a new day to work on being a little bit better than the last one. Not every day is going to be the best day, right? But like, you know, like I've just seen time and time after again, like your level of tenacity just to like get back on the wagon and just be like I'm freaking doing this. Like, yeah, maybe like I had a couple bad days last week or something like that, but like, you know, who doesn't sometimes? But I'm here and I'm ready to like, you know, show up for myself and you know, keep pressing onward. And I think that that's definitely something that has been like one of your strengths with this. But like that's what it takes in a lot of ways to actually make this goal and this dream of yours and like, you know, creating this new identity for yourself a reality, right? So
yeah. Well, and I think part of it too is I grew up watching Xena and Buffy and all of these like strong female characters. And always, I mean, like I know that they're actresses and all of these things, but this visualization of like a strong woman and wanting to be that and feeling like deep down inside, like that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I would have these moments of feeling like I'm trapped in a fat suit, right? If I could just find the zipper and take it off, like that's me down there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, especially as I'm like making progress in this journey and like kind of really keeping my eye on that visualization of these, you know, strong, athletic women and being like, you know, I started all of this in trying to get healthier and trying to have more energy for the kids. But like, the more I get into it, the more that I realize that it's about like bringing who I am out for everybody to see. Like, you know, that's something that's a part of me. And so I know I've posted a couple times in our group about like, I'm just going to keep pursuing the superhero body. Like, you know,
absolutely. I love it. Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that like, and for you, like visualization is big and it's big for everybody in one way or another. But like for you, it's like it's been kind of like a reoccurring like theme that I know that you've kind of talked about or brought up. And it's like, it's true. Like visualization is huge. It's so important. Like you need to be able to like kind of like see it or like think about it or like, you know, put it out there in a sense to actually, you know, start to like really truly believe that like that's like I'm gonna get there. Like it's a matter of like when, not if, type of scenario. And so like I think that that's really cool. And like going for like because I actually before this interview I went and looked kind of like back at like your initial like when you like signed up, like, you know, the new packet thing. I went through that and I was looking through it and I was like, it was like healthy and strong, but like strong was like a big thing. And like I noticed like that's been a thing that you've talked about, you know, as time gone on. It's just like I want to be strong, like I want to be freaking I want to be like, you know, like those superheroes and get to that point. I'm like oh, like let's fucking go. Like I'm about that. Like I'm like that's like it's cool how your goals and your vision for yourself over time can develop and can grow and can shift a little bit over time too, because it's like and I just think that's really cool. No, that's awesome. So whenever you and I first met, like what was kind of like your initial hesitation in like working together, or what was like because I'm trying to remember exactly. I know what channel we met through, but I'm trying to remember like how exactly we like came into contact. Was it like, were you like referred by Leah? Was it Amanda or?
So I know both Leah and Amanda.
Yeah.
And I think I reached out to both of them separately to be like, so tell me about this person, because you've been posting about them, and you know, both of them were just like, it's great, he's really nice, just reach out to him and talk to him. And I think it probably took me an extra day or something to like work up the courage to actually message you, send you a message on Facebook. I think mostly because as a people pleaser, I was worried that like if we connected, but then like it wasn't I didn't feel like we clicked, I would feel obligated to still sign up.
Like, oh crap, now I'm stuck with this guy that
you know, like I had this like anxiety about like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna, and I think, you know, the other part of it was in our situation, like, how are we going to fit this into the budget? That was a big part of the conversation for Scott and I of, you know, he's super supportive of me being healthy and all of those goals, but he's the like numbers guy, you know? So, and so there was that kind of hesitation and,
sure.
but I think especially because I have some background of like when I was doing CrossFit and some of the things, like I've worked with coaches before. And so I wasn't necessarily scared to work with a coach again. I just I knew it was like, I want to find somebody who like I connect with and who gets what my goals are.
Yeah.
And I did. So
yeah, well, there we are. Like, there we go. Here we are. We're working together now, and it's awesome. And you're kicking ass, and you're taking names, and it's just been, it's been. I love that you said that too, though, because it's like it's one of those things. Like a lot of times there is like that hesitation because a lot of times people don't like I have a mentor, and I know that, and I mentor people or I coach people, whatever, however you want to like kind of view it. But it's like, so I understand the value of like coaching or mentorship because it's like I know how much it helps me and I can see how much it helps like my clients and it's one of those things like some people don't they've never had a mentor or they've never really been in that like they never realized that they had a mentor, I guess, or they've never like invested in themselves in that way because that's what it is, right? It's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in you in a sense that like you want to be better at something in that regard, or you want to be better at like this habit or this skill, or you want to work towards this thing and being better at it. And so you invest in it to make it, more of a reality or like, hold you more accountable to actually following through with those sorts of things. So I think that's cool. And then you also got to like the fucking person that you're working with, because otherwise it's going to suck. Like nobody, like that's why I always do that. I always have that kind of like vetting process just to see, like, cause like not only like I want to make sure that like who I'm working with, like, likes me, right? But I also want to make sure that I like them. Like because it's got to be, it's got to be like it's a 50-50 relationship where it's like, if one side doesn't like the other, it's like, well, that's going to cause a lot of like resistance and friction, and it's not gonna be ideal. So I think it worked out really well though. I was thinking about it, and I was like, because like you're pretty like when we got on the phone, like you were pretty gun ho about it. Like you're pretty like I want this for myself. Like I'm ready to do this. I remember that like pretty clearly. I was like, okay, like geez, like for real, like, because sometimes I get on phone calls with people and it's like it's kind of like, you know what I mean, kind of like iffy. They're not really sure. They just kind of want to feel it. Like I remember like you're like I want to do this thing. Like
I feel like that's kind of a part of who I am. Like once I make a decision that I want to do something, I'm like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go for it. And sometimes that has bitten me in the butt.
Yeah. That's okay.
It's like, like, let's just, and part of it is like, I see the issue. There's only one way that we're going to fix this issue with the fatty liver. Like the only way to do that is to lose weight.
Yeah.
Like, and I know I've tried all these things and have never been successful at long-term sustainable weight loss. And so it was just kind of, for me, it felt like kind of obvious, like that this is what I need to do.
Sure.
And then, like when I got on the phone with you, and it was just so easy to talk to you and feel like you were so genuine. I think, if you spend any time at like gyms or things like that, there's a lot of people that kind of put on a mask as coaches of like, well, we're gonna
I don't know what you're talking about.
And so it's kind of like, it was like, oh, okay, this is a real person, and I can just be myself, and they're themselves, and I think that helps create trust.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things too. It's like, I mean, even just getting on this live and like live streaming and chatting together, it's like, hey, how's it going? Like, it's one of those things. It's like, I don't know. I get to know all of you guys so well, in terms of like how like our coach client relationship goes and things like that. And it's just like, I really like that I get to know my clients so well, because it does make it so like, personable. It does. A lot of times people feel like, there's not this like Kiddos.
I'm sorry, my son
No, you're
David came in.
that's what. Hey, I get it. I got a freaking toddler, so I like you're in good company. Most of the people are like that are watching this are parents too. Like that's
I figured there was going to be some point when somebody came and interrupted.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine. I was expecting it. That's fine. Yeah, no, and so I don't remember where I was going with that, but I think
Sorry.
no, you're fine. But
Can you close the door, please?
and so I think that it's one of those things though where it's like what was I gonna say? Oh well. Yeah, but, personable. Like it's one of those things where it's like we like people think online and they think like, oh, like that's like it's one of those things where like, you know, they sign up with something and you never hear from them again, or you sign up with somebody and it's like, you know, how could online coaching work? Like, right. Like the internet's freaking powerful. Like I feel like I get to know you guys a lot more than like, I know you guys better than I know most people. Like I do, like, and it's one of those things that's cool because it's like, it's at a distance, but it's like, I feel like it's way more personal than, like sometimes even like in-person coaching can be, because it's like they're only with you there for like, you know, that half hour that you're working with them, and then it's kind of like out of sight out of mind, see you next week kind of thing, or see you in a couple days kind of thing. But like with you guys, it's like, you know, we're chatting on a pretty regular basis. We've got the community where we're talking, like we're going live, we're interacting and things like that, and it's just like I feel like I think it's more intimate in that way, and so I think it's pretty cool. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
I think the group makes, like, you as a coach are great, but then it's like all of these extra things of having the small group, and making connections there and bouncing ideas off of each other there, and you know, encouraging each other, because you know you're only one person, you can only be so accessible because you have other things going on in your life, you know, son and what's coming up, and so you know sometimes I can go on and post something and, you know, you're busy with your life, but somebody else can respond and be encouraging of like, hey, I hear you, like, just keep going. And that's like just what I needed in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, then there's times where I can get on and see somebody and I can respond to them and be like, oh, here's an idea, something that helped me. And I love that. I think that's so invaluable.
Yeah, and y'all, and I mean, you guys are just like hyping each other up, supporting each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and it's just like, it's like another layer of accountability, but it's also an opportunity to like help others, but also by helping others and, you know, like guiding, like kind of like giving your 2 cents or guiding them in terms of like, you know, like this is what worked for me or whatever. It's like you're also like reaffirming that with yourself too. It's like you're almost like practicing like saying it to somebody else, and in doing so you're like saying it to yourself too. So it's like it's almost just like that's how I kind of view anytime you know, like we give advice to somebody. It's just like this is what worked for me, and because I told that person like that and helped that person out in that moment, it like made me stronger in that way too for those things that I was trying to help them out with, kind of thing. So yeah, that's cool.
Something about like the concept of like, if you really want to learn something, teach it.
Yes, that's such a that's exactly what I was kind of going for there. That was the perfect quote for that. That's so true. Cool. So yeah, so now let's talk about the fun part of this, like in terms of like what you've accomplished thus far. You know, we've been working together since like you talked about earlier, I think around April, mid-April. And so, you know, since then, like what sort of results have we been able to accomplish together? Whether that be, you know, physically, like mindset wise, you know, like I feel like you've got a lot to to be proud of, honestly, like, cause you've kicked some serious ass.
Yeah, well, so I started when my first weigh-in for you was 271, I think. And then this last weigh-in was 243.
Yeah.
I don't have my numbers right in front of me, but I mean,
that's a lot. That's crazy.
I got my first comment the other day. One of those like, oh, if you turn sideways, you're gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Said that to me. Like, I don't really know how to take this.
Yeah.
okay. It was totally kindly meant. I mean, it was just acknowledging I'm working hard and things are, and my body's changing.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, okay, like this is progress that more than just more that people are seeing, that it's not just me seeing. I'm definitely, clothes are fitting differently. I'm getting, I've had to actually buy some clothes that are smaller, and I had these clothes that were too big, and I kind of had this moment with Scott. I was like, what if I gain it? Like, it's hard for me to let this go, because like, what if I gain this back and I don't want to have to buy these clothes again? And he was like, get them out of the house, Kira. Like, it's fine.
Step into your new identity. Step into your, like, this, welcome to your new normal, right? Like, that's so cool. That's awesome. And I bet, like, I love it. That's freaking exciting. Like, he's and your husband's like, get them out of the house. Like, like, you've got this. Like, that, it's just like that, like, certainty and believing in you and things like that. And let's talk about, like, having like a positive support system in terms of, like, like, I think a lot of times for people, having that positive support system, like that belief in your goals, or just having somebody that's just like you got this, like, I know you can do it. Like, I know for me, like, having Jessica on my side, like, believing in me and whatever I'm doing, kind of like, it always helps, right? It's like an added layer of accountability. It's like, having somebody in your corner definitely always helps. And so, like, do you feel like, would you agree with that?
You hear Aiden?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. No, I'm very grateful, because I feel very supported. I mean, not only from you and our community, but then, like, my husband is super supportive. My kids get really excited when they love to join in for a lot of things too. I know I've posted pictures and even some videos of them doing workouts with me.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And for me, it's like, it's not like I'm forcing them to. They're just like, oh, can I do that with you? And I'm like, okay, how can I adjust it so it's safe for you, because you're a little smaller person. But
you're setting an example for them,
that they're a part of. Sorry,
you're setting that example for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever. I feel like in a lot of ways, growing up, exercise was kind of viewed as like, well, this is what you have to do because you ate all that junk.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I think that was so, like, that just 90s culture, right? Like, exercise as punishment, and all the fat shaming and all of that. And so to kind of be turning that around and be like, it's not about punishment. It's about celebrating what my body can do and pushing my body to be the best body that it can be. And, especially because with my eldest in ballet, there can be a lot of competitiveness in that, and it can go to some unhealthy places. And I always tell her, I'm like, because she's like, oh, so-and-so can do this better than me. And I'm like, all you can do is do it to the best that your body can do it.
Yep. It's you versus you.
And, and I think I'd mentioned on the, in the group, that she had a moment of, like, they were supposed to be trying to do handstands, and she's like, I can't do handstands. And I told her, because whenever you're like, whenever I'm like, oh, I don't think I can do that, I'm not a morning person, you're like, you're just not a morning person yet. And so I told her, you just can't do handstands yet. Like, we can practice that. That's something we can work on. That's a skill. Like, we can do this,
Absolutely.
What?
That's so cool. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. And that's so true too. And it really is, like, because it's like, you're setting the example. You're like, you're shifting your mindset, and in doing so, like, you're also shifting your kids' mindsets and impacting them. And that's just like the coolest freaking thing, and like the coolest, like, feeling, I bet, to be able to, like, be like, you've got, like, being able to tell your kids that you've got this, and being able to tell them, like, it's like it's you versus you, in a sense. And it's like, your only competition really is, like, just trying to be, like, your best self compared to your old self, in a sense, and just, like, constantly just working on, paying attention to what you're doing and not necessarily what others are doing. I think that's really cool. So, man, that's awesome. For you, like, with your mindset, do you feel like it's shifted since we worked together? Do you feel like, how do you feel like it's changed?
I mean, I think the shifting and the focus to this, as I'm kind of like identifying like superhero body, like
Yeah.
I still want to be here for my kids, but kind of doing it for me more.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And that like I kind of mentioned the morning person, like I usually really struggled with getting up in the morning, and then because I had that trip to Texas, and then leading up to it, I was thinking, okay, the only way I'm going to get my workouts in is if I get up earlier and do them in the morning. So just for this week, I will set an alarm and get up at 6.
Yeah.
And I got back from the trip, and it was like, well, I'm setting the alarm back at 6, like, and it was a little bit of like a sluggish struggle to get back to it, but finding what a difference it makes for not just for me, but also for the kids of like knowing what to expect in our day is huge. And also my dog, like, man, because I lost my phone last night, it couldn't wake me up at 6. I just kind of woke up at like 7, and Molly is like freaking out, like, we gotta go for a walk. And so I will say, if you are struggling to get up in the morning and you are struggling to go for your walks, you should get a dog.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. But you've created this routine for yourself and for your family. And it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, you've leveled up so much in your own life in terms of like, you know, what you've, you know, kind of set the bar for yourself in terms of like, you know, what this new normal is for you, or what this new identity is for you, that it's like, you know, anytime you kind of, you know, because we all have times where we kind of like revert back sometimes when we get stressed, or like we have like, you know, like a vacation or crazy things come up. Like, you know, sometimes that's just what people do. That's just what humans do. But because you've been there before, or you've set that tone for yourself in the past, like even your dog was like, yo, like, where are you at? Like, let's go, let's do this thing. Like, where's that like leveled up like Kira? Because she's been around a lot lately. Like, I want to let's go. So I think that's super cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I think with that we'll get to this last little question that I wanted to kind of talk about. I want to ask you.
Aiden, stop coming in and out. Close the door.
You're fine. This is exactly how I expect things to play out anytime I get on a live with fellow parents. So you're totally fine. So for anyone who's like, who might be listening to this right now, either live or in a replay, thinking about starting like their own like fitness or health or weight loss journey, what would you say to them, or what advice would you give to them?
I mean, it's really cheesy, but I think just remembering that it's good to have visualization, like of where you want to go, but also know that it takes baby steps to get there. I remember when we were starting, and you know, like there's kind of just a lot of information to take in, and then I felt like, well, I have all this, I have to apply all of it all at once, and then feeling like I was messing up because I couldn't do 110% of all of this. And you were always like, it's okay, you were able to accomplish these things, and that's great, so then we'll do a little bit next time. And I think, you know, and I look now back to April, and if you had told me in April, like, oh, you're gonna have an alarm getting you up at 6, I would have probably laughed in your face, or if I'd known you really well, I might have threatened to punch you in the face, but I would. But you know, I mean, if you had told me like, oh yeah, you're gonna be doing cardio walks and jogging on almost a daily basis, I would have been like, no, which that's not on you, that's my dog. My dog. So you know, and I mean, if you'd been like, oh, you're gonna be using weights, and at this point, like, I kind of used all the weights that I had and was like, I need more. And equipment starts to get expensive, so I finally joined a gym. You know, if you told me
you did. You did.
I'd have been like, no, I'm not going to join a gym. And you know, I'm using the weights and the machines with confidence.
Yeah.
Because I know that I got support and encouragement and explanation coming from you of how to do that.
Yeah.
And also like the food, man, I remember thinking, so I've struggled with like food addiction
Yeah.
most of my life.
Yeah.
And how am I going to get the binging under control? And, and I think it's something that to some extent I will struggle with probably most of my life. But, I grew up, so in the 90s, it was non-fat.
Yeah.
Right? And then in like the early 2000s, it was carbs are evil. Don't eat carbs.
Yep.
So I've had all of these like villainizing of foods.
Yeah.
And so to be able to say like, look, you can eat the things.
Yeah.
And find a way to balance it so that it's giving your body the nutrition that it needs. Is just so different. I remember on the interview with you, and I was trying to like, I don't know, maybe prove to you that I could be a good client.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, like when I did paleo in college, that was great. And I'm thinking in my head, like, I can't afford to eat that way, but like that was, and so finding a way to eat healthy, balanced, and also within our budget. Like, because I feel like a lot of times a lot of coaches rely really heavily on expensive, whether it's expensive supplements or expensive, food that you have to go buy at like Whole Foods or things like that. And it's like, we can go to Winco and still get a lot of the things that we need.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's part of it being sustainable. And that's part of not villainizing or demonizing those food groups or those types of foods, or saying like this food's bad or this food's good, or like, like just coming at it with like a moderation kind of mindset that like, I think in a lot of ways, a lot of people, when they work with me and we work together on those sorts of things, like, your relationship with food improves, your relationship with, exercise improves in a lot of ways. It's like, let's see what my body can do, or let's fuel my body, or let's, this is coming from a place of self-love, not because like I'm punishing myself. Right. And it's like, it's pretty cool. And I really like that. And I think that, for you, like, since we've worked together, since we were on that phone call, it's just been like a, you're somebody who acts fast. You're somebody that like is a like speed of implementation. Like you're somebody who's like, I'm going to do this. And because of that, like you've gotten incredible fucking results so far. Like you have, and I have no doubts that you're going to continue to, strive towards your goal and continue to crush those goals of getting closer and closer to that, like, that superhero body and getting stronger. Because like now that you're in the gym, it's game on. It's exciting. Like it's so cool to see like from where you started to where you're at now. And it's just like, if that much can happen in the course of like 4 months, what can happen in the next like year? What can happen in the next 8 months?
That's crazy because I only joined the gym a couple weeks ago, and I feel like I'm already like recognizing the staff, and like I don't necessarily like know the other people in the gym, but there's definitely a handful of people that I'm like, oh, I always see those people at the gym. Like we're all coming to the gym at the same time together.
You're like, look at all those regulars, and you're like, oh shit! Like if I'm seeing all the regulars, does that make me a regular?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited. And I really appreciate you coming on this live with me today. Yeah, absolutely. Any final words or anything like that you wanna say?
Man, if you're at all thinking about it, you just gotta embrace it. Like you gotta go for it.
Yep. Don't wait.
Because I do think, like, I look back and I'm 36 and I'm like, man, if I had started doing something like this 5 years ago or 10 years ago, like I could be further down in this journey. And that's not like a shame spiral thing. It's just like, I think the sooner that you start, the sooner you can get to where you want to be. And so like putting things off, and I know, there's always something.
Yeah.
Like I've got 3 kids and a very messy house. There's a lot you cannot see behind this.
That's okay. Same.
But it's like, there'll never be a good time to start this. I just had to make time.
Yep, exactly. Boom. On that, yeah, boom. I love it. Golden nugget. Like take action. Like time waits for no one. Like make it happen. Like make the time. Because nobody's ever gonna do it for you. There's never gonna be this like golden, opportunity that's gonna happen. You have to create that opportunity. Don't wait for that opportunity to show up. You have to make that opportunity for yourself. And you definitely freaking did. And because of that, you're kicking ass, taking names. So other than that, everybody, that's all we got for today. I appreciate you coming on here with me, Kira.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. If you guys watch this at a later time, #replay. Let me know that you saw it. Drop your number one takeaway. Other than that, guys, happy Wednesday, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.
Bye.